Good morning to you, everybody, to all the listeners, one and all. Before moving into the main drift of our conversation, that is, tips on improving one's spoken English and communication skills, I would like to begin with a small and a humble introduction of myself. My name is Rufus, and I am a commerce graduate from Loyola College. Some time ago, I also finished Tally 6.3 from Computer Software College, Red Hills. I have worked as a proofreader and an article writer in a national student monthly called The Hello Student for about 3 years and 10 months. During my tenure as a proofreader in The Hello Student, I have compiled articles on idioms and phrases, word power, and also done some profiles on tennis players like Ramesh Krishnan, Vijay Amitraj, Stefan Edberg, and Yvonne Lendl, and they have seen print. Subsequently, I have also worked as a proofreader and also as a member of the correction committee in Arpudraj group of schools. During that tenure, I have also taught English for a short period for classes 7, 8, and 9. Even for my church's mouthpiece, Christ is Victor, I have been doing proofreading off and on for about 1 or 2 years. For my proficiency in the English language, I was awarded a medal and a certificate of merit by the Loyola College in 1987. Now, moving into the main drift of our conversation, acquiring a sound mastery in the English language and dramatically and significantly improving one's communication skills is the in thing and really the rage these days. Be it an ordinary auto rickshaw driver, or an IT professional, or a business tycoon, or a big wig in the corporate circles, it is anybody and everybody's burning desire to acquire a sound mastery, an excellent mastery in the English language, and communicate in a fluent and articulate manner in the same. For that reckoning, even if you ask a government employee or a teacher who works in a private school or an aspiring tennis player or a budding cricketer, what is your overriding obsession? What is your all consuming passion? They would invariably reply, it would be to acquire an excellent mastery in the English language and to communicate in a fluent and in an articulate manner in the same. English language, or the lingua franca of this universe, as one might call it, has down through the past so many years fascinated, mesmerized, and captivated the imagination of one and all. Even though Mandarin Chinese may be the language that may be widely spoken in the world, it cannot match wits with the English language for its effusive charm, for its sheer elegance and beauty of expression, for its rich and comprehensive and exhaustive and superabundant vocabulary, and for its rich cultural heritage. If you take into consideration all these factors, when compared to any other language in the world, the English language is incomparable and even insuperable. It is worth noting here that the official language of communication in the business circles or in the government circles or even in the corporate sector is invariably English language. Even if you go to a special economic zone or to a super specialty hospital or a multi-specialty hospital or a call center or an MNC, you would find that the official language of communication is invariably the English. Beyond the pale of any doubt and any controversy, the medium of instruction in most colleges and most schools worldwide and universities worldwide is invariably the English language. A plethora of books which have been written and compiled on various subjects and various spheres like commerce, economics, sports, or even accounts are invariably in the English language. Or for that matter, even if you take psychology or medicine or accounts or grammar or even kinesthetics, you will find that most of the books in this language on these subjects have been written in the English language. With the mushrooming of the BPOs and MNCs and call centers, the importance and the significance of the English language in the present day context has even quadrupled and even amplified manifold. Now, if anyone aspires to reach the top of the heap or the top of the profession or the top of the ladder in his chosen field of activity, in his chosen field of endeavor, he must invariably possess an excellent mastery over the English language and excellent communication skills. Now, if you want to reach the top of the heap in your profession or in your chosen field of activity or in a chosen field of endeavor, excellent proficiency in the English language and excellent command over the language is a must and the quintessential requisite and a sine qua non. Viewed against this backdrop, acquiring excellent skills in and excellent proficiency in the English language is really important for everybody and anybody if he really aspires to climb the rungs of the corporate ladder or ascend the rungs of the corporate ladder very, very fast. Now, why I'm stressing on you this, if your English language is superior to that of the other candidates when you appear for an interview, the chances of your acing that job, the chances of your landing the plumb position are very high. If you have good command over the English language, you can make better presentations, better speeches, write better reports, and better dissertations, and also give better dossiers. It is worth taking cognizance of the fact that there have been many in this universe who have acquired a phenomenal mastery and a phenomenal command over the English language and have gone on to become veritable heavyweights and veritable leading lights in the chosen fields of endeavor. But sadly, there have been others who, because of lack of confidence, or because of inferiority complex, or because of low IQ, or because of poor scholastic merits, or because of poor academic backgrounds, they have been forced to grovel for the rest of their life with poor communication skills. Their progress or their improvement in their chosen field of endeavor or the chosen field of activity has been largely blunted and stunted because of the poor command of the English language they have and consequently poor communication skills. Now, how do we go about rectifying this anomaly? In all these years of my experience as a proofreader and a writer with good credentials, I have gleaned certain facts and pieced together some of my findings which go into the making of an excellent orator or a great public speaker. Now, the facts that I am going to present now are not anything new. These facts have been well proven, well established, and undisputed already. Great writers, eminent speakers, eminent public speakers, and great authors have proved these points over and over and over again. Therefore, I am not going to suggest anything which is significantly new or dramatically different. Now, I present hereunder some humble tips for improving one's communication skills and also one's command and one's proficiency in the English language.